We will call to order the Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors meeting Tuesday, May 19, 2020, 7 p.m. in the gallery room, Chatham Community Center, 115 South Main Street, Chatham, Virginia. Roll call.
Mr. Davis.
Present.
Mr. Dudley.
Present.
Mr. Farmer.
Here.
Mr. Ingram.
Present.
Dr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Spears.
Here.
Mr. Warren.
Here. I would ask that you observe a moment of silence with us, please. Thank you. Would you please join me in standing for the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there items to be added to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the following items be changed or added to the agenda. Remove item K, that's Sheriff's Memorandum of Agreement. Add medical job description to consent agenda section is item 7Q. Remove agenda item 10B3, county landfill right-of-way easement property disposition, public hearing. Add reassessment services RFP award to new business agenda section is item 12D. And add resolution 2020-05-07, resolution supporting potential cessation of funding of Coal Branch Fire and Rescue Department services in Franklin County, Virginia. Those approval to matters from work session agenda item 14A.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any question about the motions? Just for clarity, the item being removed from your consent agenda tonight is due to a clerical error in how the process was and getting them coordinated. We're working with Springsteen to get that worked out, and it'll be back on the agenda next month. So, wasn't any problems other than it was a clerical error on their part, and the sheriff brought it to our attention. So, we're gonna fix that and then put it back on the agenda for next month.
We hope. We hope.
That's right.
Any other questions about the changes? I got a motion by Mr. Scares, seconded by Mr. Davis. Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved. It was a toss-up. They're going to have to fight over
Mr.
that.
Ingram, the mover, and
I'll second.
Mr. Scares, second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda with the one removed item?
So moved.
Mr. Ingram, made the motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dudley. Any discussion on the motion?
And we're adding
And we
an
added
item.
the jail medical coder job description.
You go ahead. You already done yours?
All right, please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. And down to presentations. We don't have any tonight, do we, Mr.?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing of citizens. Each person addressing the board under hearing of citizens shall be a resident or landowner of the county or the registered agent of such resident or landowner. Each person shall step up, give his or her name and district in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his or her address to 3 minutes. No person shall be permitted to address the board more than once during hearing of the citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the board as a body and not to any individual member thereof. Hearing of the citizens shall last for a maximum of 45 minutes. Any individual that signs up to speak during said section who does not get the opportunity to do so because of aforementioned time limit shall be given speaking priority at the next board meeting. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who has not signed up. Do we have anyone sign up?
Yes, we have Daniel Matherly.
Mr. Matherly.
So my name is Daniel Matherly. I'm from Grubman County's district. I'm the chief of Cool Branch Volunteer Fire Company, also the first lieutenant of Cool Branch Volunteer Rescue Squad. I'm here tonight on behalf of both organizations to ask the board to consider to release the apparatus funding for both agencies, the amount of $140,000 for the fire department for fire engine, and for $90,000 for the ambulance for the rescue squad. Just ask that you please consider that for us. We did sign contracts in good faith that this funding will be provided to us by the county. The rescue squad is due to take possession of the ambulance next month. The fire department is due to take possession of the fire engine in approximately February of 2020.
2021?
2021, yes, sir. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else sign up? Okay. Public hearings. We have any tonight?
We have no rezoning public hearings, oddly, but we do have 2 other public hearings under
Yeah.
Section B.
Section B, each person addressing the board under a public hearing shall step up, give his or her name and district and his or her place of residency. For non-county citizens, it is in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his or her address to 3 minutes. Speakers for a group shall be limited to 10 minutes. Speakers shall conclude their remarks at that time, unless the consent of the board is affirmatively given to extend the speaker's allotted time. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who is not signed up. Public hearing number 1, courthouse security fee increase. Ms. Vanderhyde.
Yes, tonight's public hearing is due to the fact that the Virginia General Assembly recently enacted Senate Bill 149, which revised Virginia Code Section 53.1-120, and it provides for an increase in this courthouse security assessment fee. Currently, that fee is set at $10 for each criminal or traffic case in its district or circuit court in which the defendant is convicted of a violation of any statute or ordinance. Senate Bill 149 allows for this fee to be increased to $20, and that's effective on and after July 1st, 2020. In order for us to accept Senate Bill 149, we would also have to change Pennsylvania County Code Section 36-3, and that's labeled courthouse security fees. So that is why we are having this public hearing tonight, so that we can make this change in the Pennsylvania County Code. And it would also help us in providing the needed security that we have to have it for our courthouse.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing at 7:09.
Mr. Chairman, no one has signed up.
No one signed up, so we closed at 7:09. Does the board have any questions for Ms. Vanderhyde? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to revise Pennsylvania County Code 36-3 as presented. Second.
Motion by Mr. Farmer, second by Mr. Dudley. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, please cast your votes. All votes have been record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Public hearing number 2, elimination of fire hydrant fee. Mr. Hicks.
In Chapter 21 of the Pennsylvania County Code of Ordinances, there is a requirement that the county pay the Pennsylvania County Service Authority an annual maintenance fee of $200 for fire hydrants and fire protection services. I believe that comes out to about $78,000 a year. That is not included in your FY 2021 budget. So we're asking that you amend Chapter 21 and take that out of the current code, and that you no longer pay that fee.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing at 7:11.
No one signed up.
We'll close it at 7:11. Any discussion? Questions from the board? Seeing none, Mr. Morton, pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, I would make the motion to adopt the revision to Pennsylvania County Code 21.7B as presented. Thank you, sir.
Motion made by Mr. Davis. Do I have a
Second.
Second by Dr. Miller. Any further discussion?
I remember this has come up in years past. Of course, we're in different circumstances now. But one of the conversation pieces was if we eliminated this, the fire departments who maybe use this. Has there been any discussion or any fear of that? Obviously, they're still working for us as the county volunteers, but I just want to confirm that.
Yeah, the fee was basically for flowing and painting hydrants. It's not something that has to, well, for those fire folks that are in the room, they do have to flow those hydrants annually, I believe. And that's part of the ISO certifications that the fire departments have to do anyway as part of their work. The secondary part of this is the upkeep, maintenance, and painting of those. I was taking a look at last year's budget for that line item at PCSA, and it was $900, $2,100, something very, very small compared to our investment in that service. I don't see any negative for the fire departments, and if there is something that we don't have eyesight of today that crops up as negative, we will absolutely come back to you to or come to the PCSA board to make sure that that's rectified.
And the task of maintaining those fire hydrants, I guess, is going to fall on now our Public Works Department.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. We removed item 3, so we're down to unfinished business. Mr. Hunt, do we have any?
No, sir.
New business, 12A, BB&T Finance Tax Refund Approval. Scoot's not here. Mr. Hunt.
Yes, I recommend the board just take no action on this. I invited Mrs. Ward here to explain the situation. I have questions, county administrator had questions, I know the chairman had questions about why would we be refunding money to BB&T that was outside the statute of limitations allowed in the state code. The board is not here. I'd say we just hold this over and allow her to come to a future meeting to explain this, please.
Okay. Can I get a motion to table it, or that's what you want to do?
So moved.
Second. Motion made to table it. Mr. Scarce, seconded by Mr. Davis. Is there any further questions or discussion from the board? Please cast your votes. I do have one question. I mean, you cast your votes, not going to vote. But Mr. Hunt, when I questioned this, wasn't there, this payment request was outside, it was beyond the time limit statutorily to make the reimbursement. So,
Under the state code, and I'm spitballing here, but I believe it's like a 3-year window. These things went all the way back to 2014 or something. So what it is BB&T was assessed franchising fees and the state determined they did not have to pay, and they were seeking reimbursements for each locality. We've never been approached by BB&T formally. We've never been asked to repay it, and a lot of localities take the position that they will not repay it because it's outside of statute of limitations, and they don't have any authority in the village will pay this without statutory authority. So I just wanted Ms. Gord to explain this. She asked for us to reimburse this. That's all I know about this matter, so I formally invited her to be here tonight. She, for some reason, is not here. I will invite her to a future meeting so we can hash this out.
Do you remember we had this 2 months ago and I started it, but you made the comment that we need to pull it because it should be paid if we aren't legal.
That's right.
So we get clarity. All right, please, everybody's cast a vote, please record a vote. Vote carries unanimous. Potential 12B, potential communication urging Governor Norfolk. You've gotten a copy of that resolution provided to you. Everyone's had an opportunity to read it. Mr. Scarce. Any comments?
Well, the only thing I'd like to do is recommend that we approve this motion. I think it's important we get this sent back up to the governor and make him aware that Pittsylvania County is ready to open up, and I think the freedom of our constituents is more important. I think they're smart enough to make their own decisions on where they go, what they do to protect themselves, and I think the governor needs to realize that as well.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Scarce, seconded by Mr. Davis. Is there further discussion on the motion? When we talked about it in work session. Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Then 12C, resolution concerning Cool Branch tax exempt status. Which pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Cool Branch financing resolution. However, we need to make sure that's not a guarantee for county funding at this point. It's just to allow them to go ahead and get that tax exempt status.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Scarce, seconded by Mr. Palmer. Is there any other discussion on the motion? I only have one statement to make in relation to the board. It's just my opinion that for every purchase the county's involved in, I think this one and any ones going forward, we should have copies of those purchasing contracts. If we don't spend county money, I think we have an obligation to just have proper records. So I would respectfully seek the board's okay to and consent to have Mr. Smithman and Mr. Slint reach out to get copies of those purchasing contracts and that relate to this, because I know it's going to come up about funding in the future. We're going to release those funds once we get a handle on our finances. I'm assuming they'll probably make that decision in June. So we ought to have a copy of those contracts before we spend any money.
You gonna add that to the motion?
That's up to Mr. Scarce. That's his motion. If he wants to amend his motion.
I can amend the motion to add that wording.
And just to correct,
Are you okay with seconding that?
Yes, sir.
I seconded it.
Are you, yeah,
I
I'm
did.
sorry.
But it says specifically right here, the fire truck. I want to make sure that the ambulance is covered in the tax exemption as well.
Well, let's amend the motion. Did we approve that last month?
No.
I don't think we've received a request, or if we did, have we received a financing request for the ambulance?
Ambulance, they'd have to have a separate public hearing, I think.
Okay.
That's
As long as they're getting their
Well, maybe-
needs met
maybe-
then.
Maybe it's because they don't pay cash.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just want to make sure we're taken care of.
Okay.
Well, they need this approved specifically for getting any kind of loans that I think it's going to help them with that. kind of paper.
Grants or
That's all
anything
this
like-
is
yes, right.
doing. Again, this is still separate from the funding issue that we're still going to have
That's
to
right.
address once we get a good handle on
Well,
it.
we need copies of those contracts before we approve the money.
Correct. But
Yes.
this is,
So you're amending your motion to include that verbiage.
well, they ask for copies of the contract,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm fine.
Okay, Ben said he's fine with that. Okay,
You understand that, Mr. Sling?
I have. Mr. Smith was able to copy.
Understood.
Okay. Please cast your vote. All votes have been cast, please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Support this. Thank you. We're down to 13A, appointments. CPMT.
We added on. Reassessment services. We added it.
Oh, that's right, 12D, I'm sorry. I got it written down. Reassessment. Who's got that? Mr. Hunt?
Yes, we're just seeking a resolution to authorize county staff to begin negotiations for reassessment services with Bright Minds and authorize the county administrator to sign all necessary documents if negotiations are successful up to $1 million.
And, Mr. Chairman, if I could, this is a reaffirmation of your vote last month. We received a bid protest by Wingate Appraisal Services. We have reviewed that both at the staff level and with the Board of Supervisors, and your vote tonight is to, upon review of that protest bid, to reaffirm your decision of last month of potentially awarding and certainly negotiating with Bright Minds.
Okay. Board's pleasure.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
One of us.
appointment, motion made by Mr. Davis, seconded by Mr. Dudley. Is there further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, please cast your votes. All votes have been cast, please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Now we're down to appointments.
Yes, we are.
Appointments, CPMT, staff contact.
Richard, you want to handle this?
Thank you, Mr. Hicks.
One member of the CPMT is from the Health Department, and they're recommending Mrs. Catherine Waller, which is their nursing supervisor to serve, and also Mrs. Catherine Walker is their alternate member.
It's very confusing. There's a Catherine Waller and a Catherine
Walker. One letter difference.
Yes.
Is there questions for Mr. Hicks? Okay, board's pleasure.
Chairman, I make a motion to appoint Catherine Waller as a CPMT representative and Catherine Walker as her CPMT alternate, effective May 19, 2020.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Scarce, second by Mr. Dudley. Is there any discussion on the motion? Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast, please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 13B, appointments, Dan River, ASAP Board. Ms. McCluskey.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Tammy Gord, which is the Dan River ASAP Board Executive Director, requests that Glenda Clark Motley be appointed to serve a 3-year term as the Pittsylvania County Representative on the Dan River ASAP Board. This is a full board appointment.
Okay. Board's pleasure.
I make that motion, she be appointed.
Motion by me, by Mr. Ingram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Scarce. Any discussion on the motion? Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 13C, appointment MPO, Ms. McCluskey.
Yes. Per Board Bylaws, Section 4.2, the Board Chairman appoints the county's representative to the Metropolitan Planning Organization. Due to Mr. Side's recent retirement, county staff recommends Chairman Warren to appoint Emily Ragsdale, the county development director, to fill Mr. Side's vacant seat as the county's MPO alternate voting member.
So is that a chair appointment?
Yes.
Okay. I know you're really happy about that. Happy to appoint her. Okay, Takes care of that. 14, matters from work session, Mr. Hunt.
Yes, we added the potential approval of Resolution 2020-05-07, resolution supporting potential cessation of funding of Cool Branch Fire and Rescue Department service in Franklin County, Virginia. Approval. We discussed this in our work session, and you have a copy of that resolution in front of you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-05-07.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Sherry, second by Mr. Davis. Any other discussion on the motion? And we beat it up pretty good at the work session.
Yeah, I'm just going to make the same comment again, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to support this. It's in my district, this agency. They're very important to the citizens of our county and my district, but not only it seems like the citizens nearby and our friends of Franklin. I'm just very optimistic and hopeful that we can find some good resolution and solutions to appease both parties in this situation.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Anyone else? I would echo those same sentiments, and I look forward to having the opportunity to have a conversation with those folks. Cool Branch has given them excellent service over in that Franklin County Water's Edge area, so I hope we can certainly come to a joint resolution to clear this out. Please cast your votes. All votes have been cast. Please record vote. Motion carries unanimously. Are there any others to be added, Mr. Hunt?
No, sir.
Okay, we're down to board members' reports. We'll start with Dr. Miller tonight.
No, I don't think so, other than the fact that I appreciate the leadership that our county administrator, Mr. Smitherman, and our chairman, Mr. Warren, have given thus far in the COVID crisis. And I think Pittsylvania County is in a good place as a result of effective leadership.
Mr. Davis.
Yes, I would echo the same sentiments that I want to thank the staff for doing a great job and for preparing for the future as well, Mr. Hicks. All the others that are involved, Ms. Vander Hyde, Kellen McCluster, IT Department, Mr. Slim. And if I forgot anybody, as Chairman Saunders says, you are the most important one if I forgot you. I would like to take a moment, though, and recognize a certain student from my district, Dan River High School class of 2020 valedictorian, Deshia Wilson. She was recently featured on the Kelly Clarkson Show during the show's Salute to Graduates. This fall, she'll be attending Harvard University with a full scholarship. Deshia is the first student from the area in more than 20 years to be accepted to Harvard. And there is a story behind her making it. She lost her precious dad a few months before, and he called her Harvard. And she got accepted, but he passed away, and so I'm trusting that he still knows. And we're very proud of this young lady being accepted at Harvard University. And we hope to have her up in about a month or two, depending on the restrictions as they go down for this pandemic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. We'll hold the vice chairman to the end of the meeting, so Mr. Palmer.
Just like to address all the citizens that are here and watching us on our Facebook Live feed, just to say that, sometimes we pass resolutions and we name them out in numbers, but we may not go in detail of what the content is, but tonight this board approved a resolution that went to the governor's office urging Pittsylvania County be reopened in advance of maybe other localities based on our ruralness. And just want to let everybody know that we're trying all we can to get small business and all businesses back up and running as quickly as possible and safely as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Mr. England.
Yes, sir. I had just a couple of things. I wanted you to join with me in remembering the F.A. Cates family. Mr. Cates held the Tunstall District Supervisor's position for 32 years, and he recently passed away at the young age of 96. We just celebrated National Law Enforcement Week with Police Memorial Day, which is 15th of May. It's quite a sacrifice. I stand amazed at the number of citizens that do not know that we have a beautiful memorial sitting in the courthouse square that they need to stop by and check. Also wanted to brag on Robert Mills, who was in the White House today as a guest of the president. He represents us very well in the farming community. I wanted to thank Mr. Adams for being here tonight, representing the Cascade Volunteer Fire Department, and the efforts you guys are putting forth to, as Mr. Farmer has said several times, protecting the lives of the folks in the Cascade community. And I did want to thank all the frontline heroes, and it's so many of them, excuse me, I'm not even going to start to name them, but it's helped us through this pandemic. I've got 5 nurses in my family. 2 of them work in the emergency room, and this is not a manufactured crisis, it's real. And so keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and thank them for what they do.
Thank you, Mr. Doug.
I just like to say I'm glad that we're all here tonight, we're all healthy, and we've gotten through it this far. And let's just keep caution and keep moving forward. We just cannot lay down and not exist, and we just got to move forward. But first and foremost, I am so thankful for the announcement we made in my district. Man, that's huge for me, because it's huge for Hurt, it's big for Pittsylvania County, and I just want to thank each one of you guys for supporting that. Thankful for the industry coming, and hopefully we'll see more announcements to come. And I want to thank everybody that showed up and was there for that announcement. I appreciate it so much. And I want to say thank you. Sometimes we leave her out, but Kayla McCluster, she puts a lot of this stuff together for our meeting, all our packages. She gets it out there early. She orders the food, what David tells her to order. And the behind-the-scenes folks, I'm really thankful for them tonight, because we couldn't have this meeting if it wasn't for those folks, but that's what I'm here. And also, we're still continuing to feed the children. I'm not going to beat it to death. This coming Friday will be over 1,300 children that we fed. We're going to try and feed through till they go back to school. And a lot of young kids look forward to that sausage biscuit in the morning or that pizza at lunchtime. So I'm so thankful for them, and thankful for your leadership too, Mr. Warren. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, only one thing. I wanted to piggyback on what Mr. Ingram said about Robert Mills. I happened to be watching Fox News this morning, and lo and behold, there was a White House conference, and he was there representing Southside Virginia. We couldn't have a better representative, better spokesman, and the president loved his accent. He didn't believe he was from Virginia, which is kind of funny. But I posted the video on my Westover District Facebook page. If you get a chance, go watch it. It's pretty good. The president's really supporting the farmers in this area, and I think they're giving him the support back. It was a really good news conference, so take time and watch it.
Okay. My colleagues covered several things I had down on my notes, and that's really wonderful. Mr. Ingram covered Mr. Keith's family. I had the opportunity to meet him very early in my career, and he was always an interesting gentleman to talk with, and certainly we thank him for his service to the county, but we also want to continue to remember his family. Age doesn't matter, it's still a big loss.
That's right.
So, he had 96 good years, so we will be keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. And Robert Mills being in the White House, that was something. Good old Pennsylvania County boy.
That's right.
Hanging out with the president. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I think he's in your district, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very proud of him.
Yeah, good thing. I also want to mention the new economic development with the plastic operation in Hurt. That's going to be a big win. But also was very impressed. I'd seen a lot of the pictures and on Facebook, and I had seen on the county website and certainly had seen the renderings before, but to actually be there at the announcement and see the changes that have occurred at Wayside Park.
That's right.
If you're going up 29, take time to go stop and take a look, because it's very impressive. Still some more work to be done.
That's right.
But it's a really good thing, good promotion for
That's right.
for her. So
Yes.
we're really happy about that. On a little bit of a happy note but sad note, I want to thank Delegate Danny Marshall for his years of service on the Tobacco Commission and the work he did for this region. He was such an advocate for helping us with economic development and business, both through the legislative process, but also through working on the Tobacco Commission. I was extremely disappointed that our speaker saw fit to make appointments that was outside of the footprint of the Tobacco Commission.
That's right.
That's just very disappointing. I would hope that we could rise above the partisanship and make good decisions and better decisions than that. I do thank my colleagues, and I support them 100% in the resolution to the governor about the opening process, so I look forward to that. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank Dr. Miller on completing his second doctorate of divinity. Doctor, we appreciate you, and we thank you for your leadership and your guidance too. So congratulations on
To God be the glory.
another milestone. Another milestone. So, lastly is County Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple things. I will tag on Delegate Marshall. I've been in many economic development meetings with him. He was our best advocate on our team from both business and, because we tend to forget he is a very successful businessman, and not to mention a terrific legislator. So he will be missed. But at the same time, we have great folks representing our community on the Tobacco Commission. Gail Bartz has been up there for a while. Buddy Shelton, Mr. Mills, that was in the White House today, is also on the Tobacco Commission, as well as quite a few other folks from the general area. And we will continue to work hard and work together with those representatives. The Stanton River Plastics announcement in Hurt was a long time coming. I know that Matt Rowe personally had been working on that project for almost 3 years. Economic development is a long, slow road sometimes, but when it hits and pays off, it pays off. And I do want to acknowledge publicly that that was a homegrown project. It wasn't referred to us by the state. It wasn't referred to us by a site selector. That project was farmed locally by Mr. Rowe. We're in the process of hiring for our new EMS service. As you know, on July 1st, we will be taking over for DRT that is presently backing up our volunteers. Soon that will be a county-led service, and we are in the process of hiring and getting ready for that right now. During this difficult time responding to COVID-19, we have been also providing a lot of services that have been taken advantage of by those in our community that could benefit. And one of those is our food pantry at our pet center. We are passing out a lot of food to those in need right now. And I was doing some quick math. Mr. McLaughlin has raised, either in grants, donations, or donated supplies, more than $100,000 for animal relief during this pandemic. So we certainly congratulate him for the work he's doing, but also we're down to plus or minus, I didn't check today, but last Thursday we had about 50 animals in the pet center, and I went in and could not believe for the first time since it's been open, it has been a manageable population. In fact, we had 2 sections completely shut down. So we've been really transferring animals out. We have a renewed focus on fostering and adoption. And we're going to adopt some new procedures that will hopefully keep animals out of the pet center and in healthy families for the long term. So we're learning a lot that hopefully will make that a more efficient operation when things get back to normal. Soon, many businesses will start seeing our economic development staff, Susan McCulloch and Matt Rowe, in their offices or in their places of business, and they will be delivering COVID supplies, public relations, awareness, educational items. As of today, we are working with the Danville Regional Foundation, the City of Danville, and the Community Foundation of the Dan River region to fund a mask kit, a toolkit campaign that will have hand sanitizer and masks and maybe some other items in it. But Matt and Susan are going to be going around and, one, introducing themselves to folks during this tough time and see if they need any assistance that we can provide, but two, to provide them floor markings, window decals, and other signage to improve awareness that we all need to be carrying a mask, wearing a mask when we're unable to maintain social distance, and maintaining social distance when we're waiting in line to check out. So that's a service that with the City of Danville, we will be supporting as early as late this week. And with that, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Mr. Hunt, do you have anything to add, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, that completes the business that was before us tonight, so we declare the meeting adjourned.